I'm delighted to say I'm joined by one of the new PDC scorecard holders, Danny Baggish. Thanks for your time again, Danny. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on again, and congratulations on winning your tour card at Q School, the first American to win through at Q School. What's the feeling like knowing you're one of the elite 128 now?
Yes, it's still an unbelievable feeling. Step one is done. I always thought, even though I didn't, first day, second day, third day, didn't get through, I always thought that it was still my day, but I had to get going. So to be part of the 128 now is the first step, and I'm ready for the next few steps.
We've spoken on this show this week to a few other players that won their tour cards this week and asked them what did they do to celebrate with all the restrictions that we've got at the moment. Was it just calls from the hotel back to family?
Yeah, it was replying to everybody through Messenger, Twitter, all that. As you know, I'm a big social media guy, so family back home, friends back home, and really just everyone just hanging out in the room and just kind of relaxing and let it all sink in.
We just mentioned off air, we chatted to you during the Christmas break at the World Championship, 2 great wins to make the last 32 before losing out to Glenn Durham. What did you take away from the tournament as you went back home?
Yeah, that I could compete. I've always said all along that I could compete and to get a couple breaks against Damon and take advantage of it. And I got a couple breaks against Adrian, even though I felt like I played better and played well against Adrian. That I could compete with them, and I just have to keep the practicing going and maybe change a few things up, and it'll just get better.
We'll come on to Q School in a moment, but this time last month you put on Twitter that you tested positive for COVID-19. You said it affected you. You were dizzy, a lack of energy. How hard was it to keep the practice up at that time?
Yeah, I didn't get from the time I tested positive for COVID and then went back and got the negative test. I only had about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks to practice, and it was maybe 5 hours in 2 weeks I practiced. I just couldn't stand up. I played 1 or 2 games and I have to sit down because I got dizzy, and it was rough. It was definitely rough, and I just try to overcome it, and it mentally beat me down a little bit because I started to question myself a little bit coming into Q School, but I definitely wasn't going to miss it. So I really had to dig deep.
And you were over in England with plenty of time ahead before Q School rounds, I think 2 weeks in advance. We saw a few of the other North Americans. They went to the Germany one instead. Was it always the UK Q School for you, though?
Yeah, I was never going to not go to UK Q School unless we couldn't get here in time to quarantine. The European one wasn't a last minute option for me as well, but I felt like go where the cards are given out more, and that's why I decided the UK.
Well, it's certainly paid off that way. And where to start with the last 7 days? I mean, first off, stage 1B, you bow out first round on days 1 and 2, then you go all the way on the last day to advance. You didn't do things the easy way, did you?
No, and I'm really kind of sick and tired of doing that, by the way. I stress myself out. So much less stressing out all the fans, family, everyone else watching. You can only imagine what they go through. I think it's a little bit easier for myself. But yeah, I just I don't know if it's the mentality of knowing that I have to do it on that day or I can't lose or whatever the case may be. Maybe it'll be an advantage going into the Pro Tour.
Yeah, and again in the final stage, heading into that last day, no points on the board. What kept your belief going that you could pull it off on the final day and get that tour card?
Yeah, I'm a realist, so I knew it was a long mountain to climb. I just had to take it one game at a time. First match felt really good. Second match felt really good, and I felt like after that second match that it could be my day. I was throwing really well. My finishing was superb, and everything was clicking.
You mentioned the finishing. I've got to mention that game that you had against Shane McGurk. Goes all the way to a decider. You're both making a late push to get that tour card on the last day. You both leave 70 after 15 darts. He misses. You take it out. How did you keep it all together at that point?
He clicked that double top. I only had one dart at tops and took a big deep breath and just kind of repeated to myself in my head. Actually, every double I shot, starting with the first match, just do what Wayne told you to do, and I did. I approached it aggressively and just threw it in there with authority.
Definitely. Well, you said on the interview with the PDC after losing to Scott Mitchell in the final, you thought that you hadn't done enough to get that tour card. What was your reaction when you found out that you only needed to one leg in that game and that you had won the tour card?
I thought I bottled it. I thought I did all that work for nothing, to be honest, and it was kind of like upsetting, devastating. At the same time, I shook his hand and shook the scorekeeper's hand, and I was upset.
And I know you get a lot of support during the World Championship you've been over the last couple of years, but what has it been like since Thursday? Has your phone stopped yet with all the messages?
No, not at all. Just new people messaging me. A lot of people waiting to message me till days after. But I don't mind it. I really don't. I don't think it's annoying or anything like that. I think it's great. I think we need fans and everyone messaging the players to tell them congratulations. And we can't forget where we come from. And that's the biggest thing for me is I'll never forget where I came from. And I'll always be this person. If I'm lucky enough to get big or if I'm not, I'll never change.
It's great to hear. We've got to mention Twitter as well. We're seeing more and more players coming off social media or get their family or management to run it for them. It's refreshing to see you on there engaging with all the fans and as well being so gracious after games you've lost and the emotions when you win, when you put out the tweets like that. Are you going to promise that you're going to keep that up for us?
I'll never change. I just I always treat men, women, fans, kids. I'm a family guy, and I'm always going to treat everyone with respect. I expect the same in return, and it's easy. If someone's nasty or something like that, you don't banter with them. Just delete them or block them. It's so simple. So that's just my attitude. Some people just like to get off of it, which it's their choice. But if it wasn't for the fans or the people that just love me and respect me, and I'm gaining fans or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't have been able to sell out of my darts. I wouldn't be able to give these people merchandise and sign things for them. And they make the darts go, to be honest. If it wasn't for the fans and them supporting darts and putting their money into it, I mean, where would we be?
You're definitely right. And we should mention as well, you've now signed with TCL Management, a great stable of players there now, including yourself. I'm sure you weren't short of offers either after you got your tour card. So what swayed it in TCL's favour?
I joke about this with Tom all the time. So the players that he has were so welcoming, even though they knew in their head that it was a chance that Tom was going to talk to me about signing me, and they're just great, and that's what I love. I love being a part of a family. It was down to two people, and it just clicked, I guess.
Good stuff. Well, as I mentioned, you're the first American to have a tour card since Darren Young and the late Stacey Bromberg back in 2011. What do you think having a tour card could do for darts in America?
I think I think I've inspired a lot of players that either gave up darts because they felt like they couldn't do it anymore, or even the current dart players that are average or little, not as good. Whether it's them watching it or them playing or them supporting, I think it's a great thing that I've achieved. And if anyone would have achieved it, I'm just lucky enough that it was me. And I think it's a big boost for American darts.
Sticking with American darts, for a lot of darts fans, the first time that they saw you would have been the World Series a few years ago. Last year's one was going to be at Madison Square Garden. Unfortunately, I got pushed back to this year. When that does eventually happen, how special do you think that's going to be?
Oh, it's going to be very special. Just imagine if they gave me that spot. Just imagine this with me. Do you know how big that would be for U.S. darts and how packed that arena would be?
That would be fantastic. And having the tour card as well, it likely means you're going to be representing America at the next World Cup, whenever that may be. On the list of events coming up, is there anything that tops that for you?
No, that was a big thing for me since I've done the World Championships. I was lucky enough to do that 2 years in a row. And now that I got my PDC tour card, the biggest reward in my eyes was, I have 2 years to play with these guys, and that's an honor. But to support the United States in the World Cup something that I've been watching for years and years, and the drive that was in me to be in this position has paid off, and it's going to be an unbelievable moment.
And you were over in the UK a couple of times before the whole virus for the World Masters, your first World Championship. Currently in a lockdown here, but when things do get eased, what things are you most looking forward to doing now that you're in the UK?
The interaction with people, man. Being able to, I've gotten so many messages about fans wanting merchandise or whatever the case may be, and for me is being able to deliver those face to face and take pictures and stuff like that would be phenomenal. But going to local pubs and just hanging out.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Well, we'll take you back to the 11-year-old Danny Baggish. You're finishing your homework. You're playing darts with your dad. Now you're on the professional darts circuit. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, unbelievable. I have a tattoo on my right arm of a casino theme, and a lot of people don't know, but that's where he had passed away. Had a heart attack in the casino, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in this moment. So. Yeah, I know he's watching down.
Yeah, you're definitely doing him proud. And last one before I let you go, these are hard times for a lot of people with this pandemic going on. But I want to say before I let you go, following your results, Gordon Mavers as well, knowing how much that you two have sacrificed personally to play, to achieve that dream, and both doing it as well, getting your tour cards. I personally took some inspiration for that, and I'm sure many others did. So got to say thank you for that.
Thank you for even taking the inspiration and saying that. It's things like that makes me want to keep doing it. So thank you.
Well, Danny, keep up the great work. I know it's been a busy few days for you, so I appreciate you taking out some time to have a chat with us, and we wish you all the best for this year, next year.
Yeah, anytime, buddy. Thank you.